I'm Phyllis Vernon. Came to the UK in 1962 to enable me to get into the hospital to do my nurse training. I left Jamaica when I was 18 and I get to start my training in Bristol and then eventually came to Gloucester to complete my general training and then went off to London to do my midwifery. And so I'm in England all on my own with a brother that lived in London who has since been deceased. So I haven't got any siblings there, just nieces, nephews, but no immediate family as such besides my own two sons. I was married to Rudolph, who is now deceased coming up 3 years now. I left Jamaica and I left my parents behind and my brothers. I had no sisters, so it was a bit of a tear away, a shock, but my plan was to be here for 5 years while I did my training. And I only thought of the general training and then went back. But things changed eventually when I started to do the midwifery and decided I stayed on to the work a bit longer. And then I met my then husband then and decided to stay in England a bit longer. By then I did have a brother in London who also wanted me to stay with him because he was the only one of the siblings. So hence I stayed, but he was in London, I'm in Gloucester. Those days it was letters. It didn't have this mobile phone or phone business, so it was just by ear mail letters. So I used to write very regularly and they used to respond to me, and it was at least twice a month, because my father used to write back pretty quick, tell him what was going on, what I was up to, what I was doing, and so forth. My first impression leaving the airport towards my brother's house in London, to see the houses and the steps going up to houses, and I think see the houses, they look different, completely different to where I came from in Kingston. And later on with all the chimneys on top, I didn't know what they were. And my brother tried to explain to me what they were. But I didn't have any hostile greeting with anybody as such to say I felt really, really unhappy. But I didn't like the winters at all. I felt that really off-putting. Because I know I had no choice but to wear coats and cardigans and scarves and hats and gloves, but just didn't like it. It was really bad. In the early days, I felt as soon as I finished my 5 years, I'm going back because this is not for me. And of course, talking and writing to my parents and telling them about it all, I felt I wanted to be back there with them. But I know I came here for an opportunity, so I stayed and grasped it and put up with what there was to do. Yes, I got married and had two sons, Richard and Robert, and that was the only family I had. Didn't tell them that much, but I eventually managed to take them back there so they could meet the family, see what it was like, or what they used to see on television, and reading about the ghetto part of Jamaica and things like that that they hear about. Took them there. They were quite surprised because they said to me, "Mum, what they're saying about Jamaica is not true. It's not true." I said, "Well, in some parts it is true, but not where I did come from." When I see the houses, they didn't expect to see the type of houses they saw out there in the streets and cars. They didn't expect to see that, to be honest. They didn't thought it was really going to be run down, and I think they were quite amazed what they saw. They know there was a different side to Jamaica than what they used to see on the television in some areas. If I had to do my life over again, knowing what I've achieved now, I'm glad I did. But at the time, you're thinking, no, I wouldn't. But I'd want to go back. But now I've done and it's been there. I'm glad I made that decision to do what I did and stay put. Because I don't know what life would be like there for me now. But I still got brothers and sister-in-laws in Jamaica. We're doing quite well. So maybe I'd be doing well, but nobody knows what happens in life, is it? Now that I'm retired, I got no plans to move back there. Holidays and see family and friends is fabulous, but not to make it a permanent home again. I've lost touch with a lot of friends. All my friends are not there. Nobody much I know is there, so I'd be quite lost. And I even went back there on holidays, and the places I know and the schools I knew, they all look so different to me now that I think I'd be completely lost. And I'm a very independent person. I'd be too independent on people to be taking me and there till I get my way around, and I don't think I could. Yeah, looking back on my life, I don't think I've had any hostile, as I said before, because I worked in the hospital, and if people did resent doing it, or patients didn't like it, touching them or not, I didn't actually get told. They probably used to do it quietly, and probably say things, but I didn't get told, don't touch me, or some people say, but I didn't get the rude remarks. I'm not So maybe I was just lucky, I don't know. My best experience is achieving my qualifications that I've got, that I can have an independent life with a good pension and experiencing better things in life than I probably would have done elsewhere. I'm not quite sure.